welcome to a product close-up of the Slimline Twist and Slide Interactive Dies.
There, I wanted to show you the mechanism of what this card does for twisting before we dive in and I show you how to make a card that can twist and turn. So then when the pull tab moves here, it's partially immobilized under the this top panel of the card. When you pull it, the elements twist and sort of turn a little bit. So this is, the die set is actually to make 2 twist and turn. I put a third one, and that will be a separate video that I will make to show how to add this third one. So here's the die set for the Slimline Twist and Slide die set. All of these components show here make the mechanism of the twist die set, and the mechanisms here are for making sliders. So little elements that can slide. These are tracks that an element can slide around on your card. So we're going to set this aside for a little bit and focus really on this because this is more involved. This mechanism right here serves as the pull tab, but also the mechanism which brings everything together. So you're going to want to die cut one of each of these items here. These 2 dies are for the card, and you don't die cut them, you just die cut the card panel. So you're going to want to die cut one of each of these components here if you want to have 2 items on your card sort of twist back and forth. The easiest way to show how to do this is to prepare one. And so I actually die cut everything double and double everything up. Again, I have the dies here. I've doubled everything up. You need 6 brads if you're going to have 2 elements moving, and I wanted to show you how to glue. So you're going to glue 4 of these together and then put this one on top to make a really strong element that's going to house the hidden brad as well as your component that's going to wiggle back and forth. So all you do is use glue and glue these 4 on top of each other. You can also use double-sided tape, but I think the glue, if you have a really strong glue, it's just very forgiving and you can get it perfectly. So I'm going to show you how this works at its core. Okay, so, and then we'll actually put a card together. So you want to put a brad, pick one of these pieces with the 3 holes. And then combine it with this long piece that has 2 holes. And do the same for the other side. So this mechanism this brad is going to be secured in place to a back panel that won't be visible on the card. And then this house will go over it, and then you'll have an element that you can put on top that will, when you move this, it'll wiggle and move when you've secured it in place. So this is the basic mechanism, how it works. If everything is secured to the card here, everything's going to twist and move when you pull the tab. You'll want to have a slimline card base, which is 8.5 by 3.5, and then 2 slimline panels. And I've decided to make 2 scalloped panels. And so the mechanism will be actually sandwiched between the two, so you don't see it happening. And then you'll just be able to pull the pull tab, and the mechanism will do its thing. So that's how it will be set up. So we need to do some work with these panels to get everything ready. So right here, let's get everything lined up. So you want to get everything kind of lined up and the way it should be. And I like to have my tab just a little bit out. You can put it further in, and you're going to want to take a pencil and go in there and make a little mark in this hole, because that's where we're going to we need to secure this mechanism to this back panel here with a brad. So we're making a hole. You can use whatever you want to make this hole. I do have a small hole punch, but definitely using a needle is much easier. So you make the holes here. And now you can secure this part here. So now it's secured in place, and it's hard to tell, but doing this motion will twist your little elements that you've glued on here, solidly on here, to move. Okay, so that is the back wall. And what we're going to do now is, one trick to do this is to sort of push down on where those brads are. Make sure they're both lined up, and push down on where those brads are so you can make an impression on the card. And I'll hold it up so you can see. So I've made 2 impressions here because we're going to want to cut out a hole around this so that when we put these mechanisms on there, punching a hole in here this big will allow us to glue an element to here, and will allow it to wiggle around on the back panel so that you don't see everything. So it's kind of like magic. So what we're going to do, I'm going to die cut 2 holes, and you just kind of eyeball it and put some washi tape. The die set only includes one of these circles, so I'll be back once I've die cut both of these holes. So I'm back. I've die cut both of these holes. They're going to fit over here perfectly. Before we glue this all in place and get the elements on top, I'm going to color in this panel. So I've ink blended some Distress Oxide ink in shaded lilac on top of here. And what we're going to do next is glue down each of these components, which is going to connect to an element that's going to move. But in order for it to work, it has to be glued down. Now, I prefer to use foam, a little bit of foam, to give the mechanism some wiggle room. That is totally up to you. It should work if you do that or not. But you want to make sure that whatever mechanism you decide to use, if you use 3, you want to make sure you see where it moves so you know where to put the foam so it doesn't block the mechanism at all. So you could put a little here, you would want to put a little stop mechanism here, and you could put a little here as a stop mechanism. So as you can see, it rises, so it would be good to put a little stop mechanism here as well to kind of lift up the card. Okay. So I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape. Okay, so I'm going to add a long strip of foam tape here, a very small strip of foam tape here, and then sort of a stopgap here so that this mechanism will only go this far, and as well a piece of foam tape here. Okay, so you can grab some foam, double-sided foam circles, whatever. I'd like to add still a little bit more foam so that there's no issue. And then you can see they move. So I obviously have a lot more to add to this card, but this is the basic mechanism of having 2 elements dance back and forth.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope you'll try out the Slimline Twist and Slide interactive dies, and we can't wait to see what you make.